Today I'm going to be talking about some of my Strider knives. I became aware of Strider in about 2004 or so through the writings of Pat Rogers. RIP Pat, you're a really good dude, and we are diminished by your passing. Additionally, Eric Gelhaus and Daryl Bulkey also talked about Strider knives and some of their features. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a got to have this knife, got to have that knife kind of a guy. They do a job. They cut things. Some of them can pry things, but there's no such thing as a super knife, right? There's just knives that do work, right? So there are some things I like about Strider knives, and I have found them useful over the years. The first Strider knife that I bought was this SMF, and this is a fairly large folding knife, but it's fairly light for what it is because you have the titanium and the G10. This is a very massive knife. It's a very strong knife. I've cut a lot of things with this, and I've also pried some things with this. I actually was prying something I probably shouldn't have a very long time ago and broke the blade and sent it back, and they repaired it for me. So that is not the original blade, but it works just great. The lockup is very nice, very solid, and great knife, right? A little bit big for everyday carry, but I use it for certain things in a work capacity, and it's great for that. Second knife I bought was this DB, and DB is the model, and usually Strider names are initials of people that they know. So I'll let you guess who DB is, but this one came with paracord, and I bought it used off of a gentleman who was looking to move it, and it's got the Bose heat treat stamp. I did reprofile the back edge here because it was the corners were more than I wanted. And normally I run this without any cord or scales on it because I want it to be thin in the pocket. Now this is ATS 34, not S30V. This is a fairly early production DB. This has just been a great knife. You can do knife things with it. You can pry with it, things like that. I did mess up the tip of it prying something once and sent it in, and they reprofiled it for me, so it's probably just a smidge shorter than it originally was. But yeah, great knife, great knife. Long time ago, I handled a friend's SNG and had to have one. This is probably the best EDC knife, I think, in the Strider line for their folders. Really nice knife. It's the little brother to the SMF, or maybe the medium brother. And in the hand, it feels quite a bit smaller than what it looks. And what I like a lot about Striders is people say, well, you don't have that long of a blade. Well, you don't use all of the blade length on these long knives typically. I like the ability to choke up on it. It's very useful. Like that a lot. On the Striders, a couple ways you can open it. You can flick it. You can use the pull. You can use the blade stop. Normally, on this one, I just flick it. On this one, I'll flick it, but I'll use a little inertia to get it to lock open. Kind of hard to do this on the camera. So this one is a PT. So this is kind of like the gentleman's knife. It doesn't have some of the features of the bigger knives. It doesn't have a lock bar stabilizer, for example. The clip does that to an extent. And you're probably not doing the heavy duty knife things with this that you would do with this one. You just can't get as much leverage, right? Because it's a shorter blade. Wicked sharp, and it's a full flat grind, and it's very polished. Super knife, super little knife. Love this thing. About 15 years ago, was in SoCal and actually stopped by the shop, hoping to talk to Mick or Dwayne or both of them, and they were unavailable. But the shop guys, they were really cool, really welcomed me in and showed me some of the operation, and were just awesome dudes. I was hoping to buy whatever they had available, but nothing was available. Everything that they made was sold before they ever made it. They were in that high a demand even back then. Great knives. I'll do another video on some of my Strider fixed blades, but these are my folders, and I use these for different things. This is more for work because I have bigger pockets in my work pants, and this one and this one are more EDC. And normally I will pair a folder with the fixed blade, the DB. This is a great EDC fixed blade. It's big enough to get things done and small enough that you can actually carry it EDC. And like I said, I don't run the cord wrap on it or scales because I want it to be nice and thin. And so if you want to have more control, you could wrap it or buy scales. Monkey Edge has their frag scales for this, and they're excellent. I used to own a Strider PR, which I ended up selling. And those scales work on this knife. So the DB handle profile is very similar to the DB, the DBL, the PR, and there's several other DB-ish knives in the Strider family that have that size handle. And so you can still get scales for them from Monkey Edge and some other aftermarket places. All right, I hope that you liked the video and it was informative. I think Striders are a significant knife in use with professionals and people that are discriminating about the edge tools that they use. Having said that, will a $5 gas station made in China folder cut things? Yes, it will. Will the steel hold up? Will the lock hold up? Probably not. But there's something nice about having a nicer tool for a more discriminating user, and these things have served me very well.